I want to look a little bit at goal setting.
Yes.
Now, corporations have strategic plans, 1 year, 3 year, 5 years. They have quarterly plans that they report to the stock market. But the football has a famous cliche of we're taking one game at a time. But can you tell us a little bit about the planning at West Ham? Because obviously there's an expectation that you're going to immediately be promoted. How do you set goals and on what kind of time?
Goal setting is different at every single football club I've been at, and you know, Bolton, where I went to as a manager from Notts County, basically we did our own administration. Bolton were 45 million in the red when I got there, in the bottom four of this division. But it was the football club that I started at and wanted to manage the most. But they give me a 10-year contract. So a 10-year contract is going to give you some stability. So you can do short, medium and long-term planning. So that was a unique opportunity for me to resurrect a football club that was dying on its backside, both on the field and financially, and deliver a long-term structure as well as a short-term. And you know, their goal was to, you know, get back in the Premier League in 3 years. I did it in 18 months, and then their goal was then, you know, sustain our Premier League status, which I did in 2 years. But my goal became greater than theirs. My goal was to get to the Champions League, and then they didn't want to. So 7 years in, we delivered everything and more. So I outdreamed the business, if you like, and the business then couldn't keep up with me, because I'd got them to a position to just deliver a Premier League status, and then to turn around and say to you, we don't want to do it, was the end of my relationship with that football club. When you move on to Newcastle, it's the demand of the fan means the short-term goal takes greater priority than anything else. You must win something. You must try and get into Europe. You must do this, and then in between that, you get a change of ownership. And the change of ownership meant that for the first time, the people actually who took over the football club didn't know how to run this business. They didn't know how to. They do now, because they've been doing it for 4 years, Mike Ashley and his group. He's learned over a 4-year period. But when he first did it, he thought it would be able to run it like Sports Direct, like cheap and cheerful, like, I mean, get rid of all the executives and trim it down, basically what an administrator would do, you know. Cut your overheads, you'll create a profit, won't you? You know, but that profit won't last, will it? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, it has to have a development plan. You know, football is a dream industry, you know, and it doesn't have any dream, doesn't have any goals set, and it's only set about crunching numbers, then it will fail eventually. Which I think he's learnt now, and they're doing very, very well. But I fell to that because, you know, I was too strong for them. I talked back to them, and I learnt that you know, the particular owner didn't like anybody saying no to him. No, you can't do that. What do you mean? You know, I'm Mike Ashley, I'm worth 1.5 billion. I said, yeah, but, you know, this is football. If you do this in football, it won't work. So that ended up me moving on. But Blackburn was a completely different scenario. Well structured, well organised. Every department was in the right place. Everything was, you know, was working right. Apart from the team on the field was second from bottom. Only 13 points after 17 games. So to walk into that scenario in the middle of the season was what have I got to focus on? Don't have any of those distractions about any long or short-term goals. It's only about the first team. It's not about the academy. It's not about the reserves. It's about the first team squad. It's about that squad getting this club out of trouble and maintaining its Premier League status, and then resetting the goals after that. And that's what we did. And then we started some longer term planning in terms of what the finances was available at Blackburn. the outs, you know, there's a £6 million deficit. You know, so let's just sell one. Let's just sell our biggest player, and let's make a massive profit on that. So Rocky Santa Cruz for 18 million, covered the £6 million deficit, gave us a little bit of free money to cover up that deficit and that squad. Like I mean, so football often is very much like working into the financial climate today. Most of the time it's skint.